right. We are live. Tumua, we are live, my friend. Oh my gosh. So here we go. Hot Breathiverse. Welcome back to Hot Breath, the show where you learn comedy from the pros. I am your host, comedian Joel Byers, and my heart is smiling today because I've interviewed over 400 comedians, and I get contacted daily from comedians, like either just saying how much they love the show or asking for advice. This comic today, I went back and checked the DMs. He connected with me in February of 2020 when he was working on a podcast. Since then, he has now gone viral. He just sold out the Blaisdell Center in Hawaii, 2,100 people capacity. That's over 6,000 people that this cat, only 5 years into the comedy game, has sold out, and he's just getting started. So please welcome to the stage, Tumua. Hold on. I wrote this down. I didn't want to be the colonizer who mispronounced.
I just changed. They just say my first name, so you don't have to say the last name if you don't want to.
Tuinei, correct?
Tuinei.
Oh, dude. Yeah. A couple of the interviews I researched you on, they mispronounced it, I'll say.
Probably, yeah. I don't know, but yeah, they just Tumua is just my one name person. But thank you for having me, Joel.
I'm sorry, man. Like, the one thing I want to do is get your name right, and then now I look like
you got it right.
Devil.
Just Tumua is that. People mispronounce that too, but you got it right.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, welcome to the Hot Breathiverse, my friend. It's so great to meet you virtually. I know we've been in contact. We even talked about it one time. I think this was pre-pandemic, about like me making a trip out to Hawaii and doing some shows, which we're still.
We have a lot of venues. I mean, the Blue Note is a perfect club. You know, a lot of mainland comics come here and perform there, and just let me know. I mean, we can put something together.
I feel like that may have been because I've been keeping up with you like since you DM'd me, and I was like, oh, this cat's onto something. I think you sold out the Blue Note. And then it's just grown from there. But I have seen your progression from like doing local shows, doing social media, to now selling out 2,100 people, dude. 5 years into comedy, the power of social media. This is the future. Like you're a prime example of, like, I hate to say it for the purist out there, and I'll say I've been a comedian 12 years. So even when I started, social media wasn't around. This new wave of how to pursue comedy, and I've interviewed all the top like managers and agents and bookers, and they're all saying the game is now social media. And you've tapped into it, man. So congratulations to you, and
thank you.
Please give a little context here as we're welcoming people in. We already have some people asking questions, but please do just give a little context for kind of your journey to how you got to be on the Hot Breath podcast.
Yeah, I'm honored to be here. I mean, I told you before, I'm a fan of the podcast, and I would actually listen to a lot of your episodes and your guest comics and take the very helpful tips that I still use today. I mean, to joke writing and being consistent. I'm still learning every day to be better, but pretty much, yeah, I started doing stand-up first before I did the videos, because I took a stand-up comedy class at University of Hawaii in college. They had a class, and I just took it just to get an easy A. And then for our final presentation of the semester, we had to perform 10 live minutes in front of an actual audience in this bar. And when I did it, the whole football team showed up. I was on the football team too, so the whole football team showed up. And I crushed it. I killed it for 10 minutes. And then a comedy promoter saw me there. And then he kept inviting me to come back again and again. And I started opening for like comedians that would come down to Hawaii and doing small spots here and there. This is like my first year in. I only had maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes of material. And I'm just constantly doing that. And then when I built an hour, I did my first headlining show at this venue called Hawaiian Brian's, and that was like the same month that I graduated college. So at this time I was doing stand-up and football, Division I football, and just balancing the two things, you know, the two sports. I call them boat sports because I sweat on stage a lot. And then And then from there, like I had this monthly spot I would do on the east side of the island. Every second Fridays of the month, I would headline, and then they would have some local people coming here and there. And I kept doing this until 2020, until the pandemic. And then when March 2020, the pandemic hit real hard in Hawaii, everything shut down, you know. So I had that monthly spot that closed, that restaurant and that golf course. It was at a golf course. It shut down, and all these other small shows. We would have like weekly comedy shows in Hawaii that shut down too. And I was just at home thinking like, oh, what am I gonna do now? I mean, this is what I always wanted to do. Do I just not do anything, or do I try to figure out something? So I put out this viral video of this toilet paper dealer, like a drug dealer. Toilet paper is a hot topic at the time.
Uh-huh.
And I put that video out, and that day I put it out, it made it on the local news on TV. And it actually made it to like the New Zealand news too. Like this viral hog or this company like bought the video from me because they were so invested in it. And I just sold it to them just because I was like, I'm not making money anyhow. So I just sold it just for like $300 or whatever. But
What?
yeah, they paid for that first video I put up, but I never sold any other videos. It's better to just keep them now and get paid with the views now that I'm like monetized on YouTube and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, from there I was like, okay, this is what the people of Hawaii want. They want these skits, you know. So I started putting out more and more skits and kind of geared more towards the local audience. And it just kept going viral in the islands, you know, and my followers kept growing and growing and growing. And then when we finally got the green light to do live shows again in Hawaii, I had just put up 2 shows at the Blue Note. This was like October of 2020. And as soon as I put it on sale, it sold out within like 15 minutes. And this is
Mm.
the capacity, it was like 200 people per show. So the 2 shows sold out in 10 minutes. And then so we added another two and another two and another two. And I ended up doing 18 shows in a row at Blue Note. So
What?
yeah, so and then so that's when me and my manager were like, oh, you can actually like do the Blaisdell now, because like all these people were just coming out for that. And yeah, after I did the Blue Note, I mean, then we put on we put on the Blaisdell for sale, and the first show is 2,100 people at the Blaisdell Theater, and yeah, that sold out in an hour, and so we added a second show the week after that, and that one sold out in an hour too, and then we added
Oh.
a third show, and then that one didn't sell out the day of, but it eventually sold out as the weeks came closer to the show. So we did 3 shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in December 2021. And yeah, it was just happening so quick, and like big time comedians were noticing it. I mean, I talked to Joe Coy, and he gave me a shout out on social media. Bert Kreischer, Ronnie Ching, to all these guys. I mean, it's crazy that they're like my idols that I looked up to, you know, and then now just performing at some of the venues that they performed at, and it's all happening so quick, and it's all thanks to social media. Like you said, that's the new marketing these days, you know. And we didn't do it any promoter, no big promotion company, just me and my manager just put it up on social media, and it sold. So, and I'm still growing, you know, with comedy and learning, you know, different strategies and how to, you know, maintain an audience for a full hour and all that. So my plans coming up is I'm going to do some comedy in the mainland. So where are you at right now? Where are you located?
I'm in Atlanta,
Atlanta. Oh, okay.
so I'm on the
Yeah,
East
I'm just
Coast.
doing mostly West Coast. So
Ah,
right now, so I mean,
who
hitting
knows?
all like
Who knows
the
though?
strong. What was that?
I mean, who knows though? You know,
Yeah, who
maybe we
knows?
can make
Yeah,
a
yeah.
special
Well,
trip
right
out.
now I'm just hitting all the strong Hawaiian population. So Vegas is huge. There's a lot of Hawaii people there. Vegas, Utah, you know, Seattle, Portland, you know, some spots in California and
And that's
Irvine,
gonna
San
be this
Francisco,
year.
San Jose. This year, yeah. So starting in April or the ending of March, but we got some places booked already. But once I have it all booked, I'm gonna announce some dates. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's keep in touch on that
yeah.
because I've been looking to make a trip out to Vegas because I've been contact. Do you know Laugh After Dark? Have you heard of that show they do in Vegas? It's called Laugh After Dark.
No, no.
Well, they're now like producing like comedy specials and stuff. But I've
Oh,
been in
really?
contact with them about doing an interview. So maybe there's a way to parlay a double dip in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so we'll see what's goody there.
It's the hardest. It's like all these other spots are easy to find, like venues, but Vegas is tough because there's so many spots, so many clubs, and you don't know which one to pick, and it's kind of expensive there too. But that's definitely, the one of the main spots I want to hit just because of the Hawaii population there, and that's probably the most requested spot I've gotten so far, is to come to Vegas and perform. So I'm excited for that, and excited to get my feet wet in the mainland. We call it the mainland, us
Yeah.
local people here. So
Yeah, that's crazy to think 5 years and you're doing an hour show. And I saw in like your promo for the Blaisdell, like showing like that sellout and everything, that it looked like you had a t-shirt cannon. Did you maybe have a
yeah,
friend? Like, did your openers come back on stage with you? Did you guys do something together? Like,
yeah.
that's a
So
long, I'm just saying 5 years in, dude, to do an hour, like
yeah, so
that is
I
a
so
long time for people that don't understand comedy.
yeah,
Like, that's no
well,
joke.
I started doing an hour. Like my first time I did an hour was a year in, but I would say it wasn't as strong as how it is now.
For
Like
sure.
just making it more tight and just yeah. So yeah, that was a t-shirt cannon. So I was shooting out my merch at the end, some t-shirts just to make them excited, and
Yeah.
then I think you saw my friend Josh Totofi. So he's actually a musician here in Hawaii, and he's really popular. So I had him backstage, and then he just sang one song at the end, just as a surprise for the audience. But yeah, you should check him out too. He has a couple Grammy nominations, and he's pretty popular.
Wow.
But yeah, so that's why you probably saw that in the video. But yeah, 5 years, and I mean, just like I said, this is people don't really know that that's actually real young in the comedy years, and people are still, and I'm still learning as myself. I'm getting more comfortable with crowd work. I try to do that a lot too. Just
Mhm.
seeing Andrew Schultz and all these guys, Russell Peters, and how they do that. But but yeah, still learning everything and taking it all in like a sponge.
So for social media, for the social media grind here, what, and for people watching live, do comment with your questions, and I'm happy to get to your questions as well. But like, how, when you, social media is so much about consistency, and I remember in your
Yep.
early grind, like every time I opened social media, it felt like I was seeing you doing another skit. So it's how, as me being a comedian, sometimes I'll go on a run for like a week or two, and I was like, this is the time I do social media. And then like 2 weeks
Mm-hmm.
later, I'm like, oh, I miss post here, I miss a post there. Like, how are you able to keep up consistency even if maybe it's like not like quote working?
Mm-hmm. I would like try to give myself like a timeline. So back in my when I first started pumping out lots of videos, I would try to post a video like every 4 or 5 days. I would have something, and these videos would be not just short 30-second videos. It would actually be like 2 to 3 minute videos, and the hardest part is just editing. So I mean,
Mm.
like Charlie Burns, you said,
Yeah.
like I give him props because every time I open up my feed too, he has a video every day, a new video. So it's tough. I mean, the editing process is hard because you sit there for hours just trying to get the perfect cut, and even if you put the subtitles up, that's a headache too. But it's all worth it. And I really enjoyed editing and the tech side of of making videos and all that. So I guess I had a timeline, so every 4 or 5 days I'll put up a video, and that would kind of force me to do that. Now I probably do it maybe like every once a week, maybe. I try to do once a week. I got to
Mhm.
post one soon, but it's tough. But like there's two sides of my comedy, like my skits and my stand up. Like my skits, I really don't write anything down for that. I just have the idea in my head or the premise or the character I want to portray, and then I just get my friend or whoever I'm doing the video with and just have the camera rolling and just improv right there. And I just cut
Wow.
and take the best parts and just chop it up into like a 2 minute video and post that, you know.
So you do it all yourself though. You do the editing and all
Yeah.
that.
Everything, everything myself.
Wow.
Even all my comedy flyers, I edit them all and do all that. All the press release all through me.
Yeah, comedians nowadays, I mean, you're like your own media company. Like we not
Yeah.
only have to
Your own
learn
marketing.
stand up, yeah, but market ourselves, create our
Yeah.
own content, editing it, like all that plays into being. I think Giannis Papas said that on this podcast, was like, it's no longer enough just to be a stand-up. He's like, you have to be everything now.
Yeah, I do everything, and then my manager, he's a great help too, and he just helps me book the venues and negotiate deals and does all the business side. But yeah, all the editing and the editing videos is where you put in the most time, I believe.
How do you come up with ideas for your videos? Do you like have like a brainstorming session where you think about a bunch of videos and then you record them all at once? Or are you more kind of shooting from the hip based on what you think of?
Yeah, just whatever comes into my head first. I mean, before I would do like you said, couple videos in one session and then slowly, post it. That's probably the best way to do it, and it shows that you're pumping out videos weekly. But now it's just like whenever I have an idea, I try to find the location that I can film it at, and then bring my friends or whoever that I have in to want to be in the video, and just do it right there. It's tough. Like I did a video in Costco, like how it is like shopping in Costco, and that one we just rushed it and just did it in in the store without asking for permission. But like people recognize me in Hawaii a lot, and so they were all okay with it. The workers were fine with it, and they're even asking to be in the video too. So I mean, that's because people ask like, oh, how do you get access to all these places? And I honestly just do it. Sometimes you might they might get in trouble, but I can't mention that right now. But
You got in trouble? Have you gotten in trouble?
a few times, yeah, but nothing major. Just like, oh, you can't film in here or something that. But yeah, Hawaii is very supportive. It's a great community. I mean, we live on an island, so it's just us here. But whenever they see like a local boy, succeeding and doing well, they always want to support, and that's what I love about this place.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing for like comics to find wherever they're from, or like
Mhm.
finding out. It's like you mentioned Charlie Barons earlier, who
Yeah.
I had on here, and he goes viral all the time being a
Yep.
Midwest comic. So
Yeah.
he found like a specific audience to cater to, and that seems to be the internet's infinite, social media is
Yep.
infinite. So you've instead of trying to entertain everyone, you've really got to figure
Yes.
out like who is your audience and
Yeah.
just cater to that, and it'll grow from there.
hmm That's what I was talking to my friend, Sean Felipe. Do you know who that is?
Mm-mm.
He's a Filipino comedian, but he's from Hawaii, but he's in San Francisco right now, just doing comedy. He does cruise ships for a living, so he does comedy on
Oh,
there. So
yeah.
the underground comedians, but he's real funny. But he's been doing it for a while too, and he told me he realized that like Netflix or all the big time bookers and companies, they don't want to see the typical white or black comedian. They want to see the unique. They want to see the unique
Great.
comedian.
I
No,
picked
like
a great time to be a comedian. Straight white guys are over, man. White
no, but
bread
it
is
makes sense. It
stale.
makes sense what you said about Charlie, and like
Yeah.
because I tell people that like how I don't know how I'm gonna do it like in the mainland or the West Coast, but he told me like don't change a thing, just still do your Hawaii style comedy. Your fans, you have a fan base, they're gonna come to you no matter what, and it's gonna grow. And I believe that's what Joe Coy did with his Filipino community, and he grew, and he's one of the top comedians right now, and he has, I think he made like, I forget, they had that ranking for like the top tours of 2021, and he was like number 5 or something, like including with all musicians and everything. So
Oh,
he's
dang.
yeah, he's up there, so I'm just gonna stay true to my Hawaii people and branch out from there. But
What would you recommend for a comic wanting to like start? It's like for like a comic like me who's like, okay, now's the time. I'm hearing this interview. I'm inspired. I'm gonna now take social media by storm. Like, how would you, just like on stage as a comedian, you have to find your voice. I think there's a
yeah,
voice on social media. Like, what kind of tips do you have for finding your voice on social media?
I guess just finding your niche, like what works. I think in the beginning, like TikTok was big during 2020 when the pandemic first hit. So I was on TikTok too, and I was doing what everybody tries to do, just those cringy trends and all that, and
Yeah.
and it didn't do well. It didn't do
Mine
well.
never
So
do either.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then I was like, oh, it's not working. I kind of like put that to the side, and And then when I did more like local Hawaii things that like only Hawaii people would understand, then it got a little spark, and I was like, oh, okay. And then so I kind of just geared it towards that character, kind of like Charlie. Like he has that Midwest character, and then I just have that Hawaii local boy character. He's kind of stupid, just not afraid to do anything. But it's all similar, like Desi Banks does like the hood guys for the black community, and even like for white people like rednecks, it's all similar. It's all
Mm-hmm.
it's very very similar, and you just got to find what works with you. So like I was there too. I was throwing up whatever hits the fan or whatever, and I landed a spot with my local niche, and Hawaii people is pretty much my fan base. So I say just keep trying, whatever works.
Yeah, it hurts though. And in those early stages, like you said, you're throwing stuff up. It's
Yeah.
like you're just like, oh, what do you mean my first video didn't go viral? It's like
Hmm.
through that process of throwing stuff up. Like,
Yeah.
was there something that kept you motivated, or you just were just like, I mean, I'm doing this because I have no choice. Like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Probably like stand up, because I feel like the difference with like us, like people who actually do stand up and like social media, because I know a lot of guys who just do social media videos, and or they're trying to do that, and they don't do stand up. So I mean my main goal was like, I'm sure that's your goal too, is just to make it as a stand up comedian. So
Mm-hmm.
I was just doing these videos to help push my stand up career. And like I would have a small fan base before I went viral with social media. Like I had about maybe like 4 or 5 thousand followers on Instagram. So like, and I had that monthly show I had that I mentioned, but nothing as compared to now. And that's all from with social media. So stand up was my motivation, and it just kept me, to keep pursuing and keep trying. And I was just thinking, okay, if these videos don't work, then I'm just gonna just go harder in stand up. But
Yeah, so it's like remembering, yeah, what you're
yeah,
doing it for. It's like I'm
what are you doing it for? Yeah.
not doing it for like a quick hit, but I'm really doing
Yeah.
it to pursue my dream of being a
Yes.
comedian, and this
Yeah.
is part of it.
Yeah. Because some people are doing it to get popular and famous on social media, but I was doing it to get more people at my shows.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just know your reason why you're doing it. I guess it would help with your motivation.
Yeah, and I mean a lot like you, and I don't think a lot of people that want to pursue comedy. And I'm actually David asked a good question here, but like this is leading to that. But it is like the grind of being a comedian. For me, it was, working a day job and then being out
Hmm.
till 1 a.m. doing shows and then being back at that day job the next day. For you,
Hmm.
you were doing football, then
Hmm.
school, and then
Yeah.
doing comedy at night and just rinse and repeat that
Hmm.
cycle.
Yeah.
So that's the grind of comedy. I don't think people really understand that it requires, you don't just wake up on Netflix. Like there's a lot of
Hmm.
sacrifice involved.
Yeah. It is, and it's funny because I just watched your video you posted on YouTube about your saying that you had a show coming up in 2 days, and it was it
Had
was, it was
nine
did you
tickets.
film? Yeah, yeah. Did that show happen?
It did happen. My wife got sick that day. So I
Oh,
had to find a guest host real quick, but we ended up it's a show at a brewery. So we ended up getting about 45 people in there and the capacity is like 60
that's
in there.
that's
So
great. That's
ended up
sold
working out
out.
great. Yeah, yeah.
Nine
Ended up
tickets is considered sold out too with COVID restrictions. So you're good.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I was super happy with it. But yeah, someone else asked me, they're like, did you have any footage of the show? And literally my wife got sick that day and I had to
Oh.
stay home, for the
Hmm.
for the fam. That's
Hmm.
part of my parameters I set as a comedian, and like pursuing this as a career is like, for me, family is still a very important factor of this journey. And
Oh yeah, for
I'm
sure.
not someone, yeah, every decision I make is also with my family in mind, in terms of like, okay, how will this affect how long I'm away from my family? That's going to affect the pay. Like if
Yep.
someone asks me for a gig on the road, I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be traveling this much. I'm going to be missing X, Y, and Z with my family. So it's going to be
Yeah.
this price. And I always bake
Hmm.
that into any of my decisions now, is like
Oh yeah.
my family is
That's
a
what
big
I'm
part of it.
starting to realize too, like the more business side of gigs, like as you do bigger shows, and it's a whole nother level, like putting on those Blaisdell shows, and it's such a headache because we didn't do it with a promoter, so we paid for the expenses ourselves, and it's just like you got to pay for the union dues, like the lighting guy, the audio guy, security, ushers, police. There's just so much that goes on into one big production. So, but it was all fun, and it was a great process to see the behind the scenes of the business work. And like you said,
Yes.
social media is everything. Like bookers, they don't like, I feel like today they don't really care if you're funny or not. They just want to see like how much followers you have, if you can put people in the seats, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll book you. But if you do bad, then they probably won't book you again. But everything is social media these days.
So did you have to, with that Blaisdell show, did you have to rent it and then start selling tickets? Or were
Yeah,
you
so
able to,
we rented it. Yeah, rented it.
so you had to put all that up front and then be like, oh, I hope I sell these?
Yeah, well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, some of it was up front. Yeah, but they usually take a cut from it at the end.
Oh, okay. Oh, I
Yeah,
guess there's different deals for different whatever you
yeah,
work
yeah,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you gotta get approved. Like you can't just have anyone go up and rent it. But like they gotta like you gotta have some credibility. So when they seen like the 18 sold out shows at Blue Note, and that added up to more than 2,100 people, so it made sense to put on a show. But they weren't open. Like Blaisdell wasn't open because of the pandemic, and they weren't doing that big of a show with that much people until like like right around like the month before my show. They gave the green light, so the tickets was on sale while it was still closed. So like 100% capacity, it was like I put it on sale while it was closed, so it was almost like a gamble. Like
Yeah.
like are they even going to be allowed to have this much people in December? Like even Gabriel Iglesias, he was supposed to perform last week here in Hawaii, but they made that new rule where they can't go anything more than 1,000 people, so he had
Hmm.
to postpone his show, and I think he's coming back in September.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
it's
What?
crazy. COVID is nuts. Like
Oh, yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
ruining us big time.
My January was all canceled. Like I have a fundraiser show at the end of this month, but like yeah,
Hmm.
it was. I was like, all right, 2022, here we go, baby.
Yeah,
Just like 2020, I was going to be a touring headliner, and then that went away overnight. And then now 2022, I
right.
was like, we're coming back, and then it was like, oh
Yeah,
no.
yeah. I'm doing Maui next month at the Castle Theater, which is a different island than Oahu. But yeah, that one's like sold out already too. There's only single seats left, but they
Wow.
might postpone it if they don't allow
Mm-hmm.
that much people. But hopefully it still goes. It's
What was
kind
it?
of quite some time.
Tell me the feeling. Like I want to live vicariously through you because I've killed in front of 1,500 people, and that was for
Mm,
like 15 minutes. Like for you to like 2,100 people that came to see you,
yeah.
like just that I can't. I mean, I'm sure you're still buzzing from it, but like, what was that experience like being 5 years in? You made this happen, like this is your show, 2,100 people. Like, what was that feeling?
It was a crazy feeling. I mean, when I first put the show on sale and seen the tickets disappear in front of my eyes on Ticketmaster, like you
Uh-huh.
can see the dots disappear. When you click the whenever you buy a show, and like that was surreal at that moment. And my parents and my family was all tripping out on it. And the first night, I remember Friday night, December 10th, and walking out on that stage and hearing the 2,100 people that all came for me. It was such a crazy experience, and I was just so thankful and blessed. And I was telling my manager after the show, like it honestly felt like any other show that I've done. For some reason, it didn't feel like, because it's just so dark out there too. Like if you look in the theater, I mean, I've done theater shows before, but same like you, just opening. But just to have your own fans come to your show and
Yeah.
purely just off of social media is a crazy experience. But then again, it's just comedy, and it's just another show. But it is on a bigger level. And I mean, I got some tips from other comedians of telling me how to pace myself more, because it's a bigger venue, and your sound travels slower. So you can't talk too fast, and you gotta let the laughs ride, and look up a lot too, because there's people in the balcony, and there's
Uh-huh.
different, yeah. And then kind of pace yourself across the whole stage. I mean, there's little tips here and there that would make it more better, and more crisp. But yeah, it's such a crazy experience, and I'll never forget it. And I'm just thankful for having it, and thankful for the people of Hawaii for supporting me.
Were you like feel like you were like electrified? Like that high after a show, like
Oh
we
yeah.
all chase it for we love comedy because you get high from it. But I can
Yeah.
imagine you must have. That was like
I was
pure.
really, yeah, I was really nervous before, but then after, that first few laughs I got in the beginning, it went away and I just started to enjoy it. And then after that first show, I was like, okay, I want to do this again. Can't
Yeah,
wait for tomorrow for the second show. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
the third show, yeah.
You're probably floating. You can't tell me nothing. You know who I am.
Yeah.
So dope.
It was fun. It was great, And we're planning to do the arena this year at the end of the year. So,
Oh,
but that also means I gotta flip a whole new hour of material.
just do
Which is
crowd
tough.
work.
I don't know how those like Joe Coy them or the big time comics, they produce new hours of material like every year or 2 years, because we know it takes multiple years to get a polished hour act.
Yep,
So
and a lot of
it's
stage
tough.
time.
A lot of stage time. Yeah, but yeah, you got to think these guys are headlining like 6 shows a week, so they're probably writing new material on stage as they do it too. So
Yeah, and you can weave it in. If you're like
yeah,
going on tour, you can always couch some newer stuff in, or not necessarily do all new, but find moments to try something new. And then if it doesn't work, you go back to what works. You can always kind of weave in newer material to test it out without really the
yeah.
show suffering for it.
That's what I did like at Blue Note, or like when I had that monthly spot, I would yeah, kind of weave in the new material and just test it out right there.
Hmm.
Because then again, it's your fans too, so they might laugh at no matter what you say. But you are performing for your audience. But yeah, it's good to just try out new material on stage.
Yeah, that is a good point. Yeah, they're there to see you, so you do get
Hmm.
some leeway there as well,
Yeah,
because they're just like, oh my gosh, it's him
yeah.
from the screen.
But you still got to be funny though.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's not easy. Yeah, I was not implying that like, oh, you got it easy now, man. No, definitely, definitely not. Let's see. David Araki
Hmm.
sounds like he's in Hawaii. I don't know if you've heard of him. But he asks, what was your journey in comedy like starting in Hawaii? Do you have any tips for people starting out in Hawaii?
Oh, I took the comedy class at my college, University of Hawaii. I think that's like they don't have it anymore. I don't think they have any classes in Hawaii, but that really helped me a lot. And I wasn't expecting to actually perform in the class. I thought it was just like learning about stand-up comedy and the history about it. They actually made you go to open mics throughout the semester and like have the owner of the mic or the restaurant or whatever to sign off a slip that you perform. So that was a requirement of the class, or else you would fail the class. So I would say just get out and find open mics. The hardest part is starting. I know Joel probably agrees with that too,
Yep.
but
Mm-hmm.
I get so much people come up to me and say, "No, I want to do stand up. I want to. What do you want me to do?" And I said, "Just go to an open mic." And the first thing they say is, "Oh, I don't know if I'm ready. I'm scared, or I only have 2 minutes." Or just the main thing is just get up there, even if you don't have anything to say. I feel like the first time, just riff or just say something for 2 or 3 minutes and just get used to being on stage. That's the how to start it off.
Yeah, starting is the hardest part. Yeah, I say that all the time. And I guess if David's looking for stage time in Hawaii, like is there like a Facebook group or like a calendar somewhere of the shows, or
Yeah, there's a Facebook Hawaii comedians, or they have a bunch of Hawaii comedians, or I think it's just Hawaii comedians on Facebook. Um, they have a bunch of weekly shows, or you can hit up one of the comedy promoters on there. And there's a show if you're ever in Hawaii, David. But I think every Wednesdays there's open mic. So tonight there's an open mic after their feature show at Anna O'Brien's, which is in
Mm.
town, this Irish pub bar.
Oh, I love
If
it.
you're in Hawaii, David. So yeah, you can even come out tonight, check it out. 3 minutes.
He
Yeah,
may be
just get
like,
on
"Oh, I
stage.
didn't mean tonight. I didn't mean."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how do you start in comedy? We get on stage. Well, I didn't mean comedy.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Come,
meant
come right
hypothetically.
now. I'll sign you up.
Yeah, you told me there was a few Hawaiian comics that like this show, so you never know who's listening right now.
Hmm.
And this show's a great resource too if you're like wanting to start out in comedy. You know, we have a lot of episodes about how to write jokes and YouTube videos about that. So I mean, if you just go on YouTube and search a question, chances are like we've from Hot Breath have made a video about it or a
Mhm.
podcast about it. So yeah, tap
Yep.
into the Hot Breathiverse here too. Jordan asking, when are you? Well, he didn't say when are you. I think he said it with a little attitude. He goes, when you coming to Cali?
Okay. I'm doing a show in Irvine, April 2nd at Irvine Barclay Theater. So
Oh, theaters? Oh, like
yeah,
that,
yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Oh, like
Small
that, like
venues, small
little
theaters,
flex. But whenever you
couple
say
hundred.
theater, though, it's like
Yeah,
that's
yeah, you gotta say the theater. Yeah. How much does it hold? 20 people.
it's in the
Yeah,
parking lot
so
of the
in
theater, but it's still the theater. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's at the theater, but it's in the ticket box office. Just like,
Oh, so
but
April
yeah,
2nd.
April 2nd. Yeah, it's gonna go on sale hopefully in February, but we already got that spot booked. So yeah, all the guys out there, all the local people, you guys can come make it to that.
Yeah, and anyone that listens to this podcast, if you see that Tumua is going to be in your area, pull up and let them know the Hot Breathiverse is out here supporting. We have Ben Webb here. He asks, what is one thing you have learned doing comedy that you have carried over and applied to your own life?
I would say never giving up. I mean, there was a few times where I bombed in the beginning of my career, and I really questioned myself, like, oh, is this for me? I'm sure you
Mm,
you had that too. All his comics
for
has
sure.
those big bomb stories.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I would say never giving up. But I would I kind of flip it because coming from an athlete background, and just learning about consistency and integrity and all that, I use that to help with my comedy. So I take my sports background and the way I would train for football constantly, and I kind of use it in comedy, and using my effort and being consistent, trying to write every day. I mean, I'm still struggling with that. I'm sure a lot of comics are, but yeah, you still do the Right 10
We d-
Club?
every day. Yeah, I don't go live every day.
Oh, okay.
During the
I remember
pandemic.
I tuned in a few times, but it's always like 4 in the morning over here because of the time difference.
Oh wow, yeah, every day, dude. I did that for over 400 days in a row.
Wow.
I was
Should
live
have
every
like
day,
5 hours of material.
dude. It was so much. Like, well, I mean, they're not all great. They weren't all great.
Yeah.
I think I ended up crying on one of them. I had like a mental breakdown. I was like, all right, I need to reassess what I'm doing here. I was like just drained. But yeah, I used to do that every day. But we still do it in the Facebook group. I'll go
Okay.
live every Wednesday and do a
Mhm.
live stream. But every day we post a new word in there as like a writing prompt to get the juices flowing.
Yeah, that's a great, group that you got there, the Right 10 Club. And
I
it
appreciate
really
that.
it really
Yeah,
helps with the creativity and gets you writing. Like you're probably not going to use that joke in your set, but at least you have your pen in your hand and you're like, oh, I'm gonna start writing now and do my own
exactly.
stuff.
And that's what I
Yeah.
use it for. Yeah, like I don't. The vast majority of jokes I've written doing that write 10 exercise, which if you're listening and you haven't heard of this, it's like you get a random word and then 10 minutes to write a joke using that word.
Mhm.
And it's just a good exercise. It's
Yep.
a good warm-up exercise before you actually maybe start getting into your material. So it's
Yeah.
if you're looking for you want to write every day, a great way to do that is just join our Facebook group and then look at the word, write a joke with it, and then that kind of you're like, "Oh, okay. I
Mhm.
I started writing and I can build on that momentum." It's just a way
Mhm.
to like write without like thinking or really having to
Yep.
like beat
Or have
yourself
you
up to
ever
do it.
have you ever done those? Some clubs do it. We do it here in Hawaii where it's like improv on the stand up on the spot. We call it stand up on the spot, where they put up a random word behind you and you got to come up with a bit on stage in front of a live audience.
Oh,
I did a
yeah.
few of those, and they're fun. They're scary. You don't
Yeah.
know, you don't have anything. You just see the word. Okay, I'm gonna try to come up with something. But that's also like that can also spark some creativity or motivation to write
Mm-hmm.
something. But that really puts you into like the fight or flight mode and on stage, and what are you gonna do to win this audience, without no material.
And a big thing as well is like accountability or some sort of like, our Facebook group is now almost 5,000 comedians
Hmm.
around the world, not only doing the Right 10 Club, but motivating each other, answering each other's questions, really just supporting each other. So it's like anytime a comic is feeling unmotivated, like, jumping into that group and connecting with
Hmm.
someone, and people make a lot of friends in there. And that it can be difficult because, like, we want to write every day, but when it's
Hmm.
just you, then it's some days you may not feel like it, and if you miss one day, it turns into a month
Yeah.
very quickly, But
Mhm.
you with the sports background, I mean, I played D3 football, so I know what it's like to
Oh, you
play.
did?
I
Would
know
you
what's
play receiver?
I know. I used to be like 240. I was a
Oh,
DN.
really? Oh, he's DN. Wow.
Ooh, don't make me come off the edge with a little dip and rip now. Don't make me do a little dip and rip on you. No,
How tall are you?
I was slow. I'm 6'4".
Oh, wow. Shoot. You're same size as my dad. Well, I'm 5'9". I'm still waiting for my growth spurt.
How old are
Supposed to
you?
come 25.
But your dad played in the NFL, right? And your uncle?
Yeah, yeah, they both played. So I mean, they're both well known in Hawaii too. So I mean, I had that, that expectations of just being in the NFL or following in their footsteps. And I did. I mean, my dad played at University of Hawaii, and I wanted to follow in his footsteps. And I've gone there. I never play as much as I wanted to play, but I still was on special teams, and I still traveled with the team. So that was good memories, and just being around with the boys and traveling every other week. Good to
Yeah.
get out of Hawaii, and that's actually where I found comedy. So I could have easily went to a D3 school, I feel like, and play a lot more in the mainland, but I decided to stay home. I walked on. I ended up getting a scholarship my junior year.
Ooh,
So that
nice.
was great. Yeah. And I just was doing that and comedy.
Oh yeah, Jordan says Bows represent.
Oh, yeah,
I guess.
is he a fellow alumni?
I don't know. He says Bows. Do you say Bows for short, or did he
Yeah,
just?
so they're known as the Rainbow Warriors.
Yeah, but do you say Bows?
Yeah,
Is like
Bows.
go
Yeah, like go
Bows? Is that
Bows.
like
Yeah, go Bows. Yeah,
ooh, go
that's the
Bows?
that's the
Very
term, go
nice.
Bows.
Oh, dude. Mel Girl here said we went to the Blaisdell show and it was awesome.
Oh, right on. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. And she
Yeah.
asked, when are you, oh gosh, I don't want to, I feel like a colonizer trying to say words. I
Is there a
look
way I can
like,
see the comments too, or no?
they're on YouTube.
Oh,
So
YouTube.
yeah,
Oh,
they're on
yeah.
our YouTube channel. So if you like pull it up on YouTube, you can see comments.
Hmm.
Um, but
Trying to
she
pronounce
asked,
the name.
when are you, when are you gonna hanau hanahu on Oahu?
When are you gonna try to spell the word?
Hanahou.
Oh, Hanaho. So Hanaho means like, you know, that's like it's similar to encore that they yell out in the crowd.
Ah,
So they say
okay.
Hanaho, Hanaho. That means they want you to come again. So they say when
Oh,
I'm gonna come back on Oahu. So yeah, so I'm gonna actually come back to the Blaisdell aiming in November. So November time, I'm gonna be back after the tour. So
wow.
I will announce the date soon, but yeah, just keep the month of November open.
That's very nice. Look, you got fans in here. This is so cool. Yeah, and oh, Jordan said his mom is an alum from Pearl City.
Okay, right on.
I don't know where any of that is. I'm not sure. All
It's
right.
all cities in Hawaii.
So what do you think, like, how with where you're at in your career now, it's like, I don't know, you like build on social media and you like sell it to Blaisdell 3 times and now you're looking for the mainland. Like how far down the road are you looking now? It's almost like at a point now as like a comedian looking on, it's like, oh man, he made it. He did it. He built a following and he's selling out venues now. It's like, so how far down the line are you looking? What are you aspiring to like to do with what you've built here?
Um, well, part of the reason why I wanted to get into comedy was to be an actor. I always wanted to, and that's why I minored in theater at UH2, University of Hawaii. Um, and I felt like comedy is the quickest way to acting. If you look at a few of the big time actors, they all started off in comedy. You know, Adam Sandler, even Tom Hanks. A lot of people don't know that, but he started off as a stand up comedian. Yeah,
Oh,
so all these guys. And I got a speaking role on NCIS Hawaii
oh yeah,
a
the
few months ago.
photographer.
Photographer,
I
yeah. And
saw
it all
that.
started as the one of the writers were fans of me and followed me on social media, and then they reached out to me and said, "Oh, we have a role for you if you want to audition for it." So hoping to do more acting roles, and just continue to tour and do bigger venues in the mainland, and just spread out my fans and my followers and just grow. I'm just taking it one step, 1 year at a time.
Wow, interesting. Okay, okay. So you're building an empire here. Okay, I see. I see what you're doing here. I see what you're doing. And I think that's a big thing you said. Just for Ben asking something you learned in comedy that you carried over and applied to your life. I think for me the big thing was like resilience, and it's like, well, if I can bomb, then I
Hmm.
can handle sitting in this traffic jam or something. Like it really adds a lot of
Yep.
context to just like what is a
It
dire
is true.
situation, what you're just being dramatic
Yeah.
about. Like I think
Hmm.
I feel like everyone should try stand up. Anyone who's ever thought about it should at least scratch that itch and get on stage at least once just to know, because it's like just your survival instincts kick in. Like it's
Yes.
just you up there and your words, and you've got
Yeah.
to entertain strangers. That you learn a lot about yourself just through that process.
Hmm. That's the second greatest fear in the world. I mean, after death, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
or is it first? Public speaking.
I don't. I've heard it's up there. I've heard
Yeah,
it's
it's
up
up
there.
there. Yeah, yeah.
So it's worth trying out for anyone. And David said I'm in Hawaii and will be out tonight. It'll be my fourth time up.
Oh, he's gonna go up. Oh,
I guess
right
he's
on.
gonna do it. All right then. So what would you say as we start to land this plane here? Like what kind of advice would you have just for the comedians in general? Because honestly, like you're the new blueprint. It's no longer like Bert Kreischer, like you said, he reached out to you when you sold out to Blaisdell. He's in that old school of like grind it out on the road for 20 years
Hmm.
and then maybe you'll make it type deal. And it
Hmm.
worked out for him thanks to social
Yeah.
media though. He went viral on Facebook, the machine
Yeah.
story.
Yep.
So, but the new wave is it's what you're doing. 5 years in and boom, you're selling out eh, 3 times. Selling out, it's just incredible, dude. So like for a comedian starting out here and they see that social media is the way, like what kind of advice that maybe you've had to learn the hard way, a few things that maybe you could bestow upon comedians here.
Just never quit, never give up. There's many comedians that I know that stopped trying because they didn't go viral, or they didn't find their voice, or they never get their big break. Just keep trying. I feel like now is the fastest and easiest way to go viral is through TikTok, honestly. Um, so much people gain followers on TikTok, and because the algorithm is that they send it out to, not just your followers, but everyone. It's just, I don't know the exact, it might even be fake because it's a Chinese company, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on over there. I'm still halfway scared, but I'm on there, so it's like too late.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to do it, but it's like, dude, you're on there. It's like it's too late if they got you.
No, yeah, TikTok is awesome. I mean, that's probably the quickest way, but my best advice would be don't give up and stay consistent on social media. Be true to your fans, interact with them more. I got a lot of advice from, who Vegas Dave is?
No,
Yeah, he's a sports better guy, but you could check him out on Instagram. But
yeah.
he's telling me, some tips on social media and just to be interactive with your fans, train them, and know, like, just like how you have a consistent thing of going live every Wednesday, that's I gotta try to do something like that to have a schedule that would train my followers to be like, okay, I gotta tune in to the hot breath at Wednesday, So be consistent, find a schedule that fits for you. Back when I was pumping out videos, I would try to do one every 4 days at the most, twice a week, it'd be good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how those guys do it, like Charlie Barons, and post out every day. That's a lot of. I think they film it all one time and then he
Yep.
does it. Yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
the only way I can think of doing that. But yeah, you can just be consistent and just keep trying. Don't give up. I would say don't overuse yourself though. I mean, it's okay to say no sometimes for people or people requesting some things. You don't want to make them tired of you. Don't over post. Don't like post like 4 times a day because then it's just like what are you doing? So but yeah, like be consistent and like there's a few times where I would have a video and I would be like, oh, this is not funny. I'm not gonna post it. Like I wasted all this time editing it and not posting it. But I would
Wow.
say just post it. Like, you're not gonna have your best video every single time. Just like I know you mentioned it, like the joke ratio. If you write 20 jokes, only 2 of them is gonna be really funny.
Right.
So not every video is gonna go viral. So just keep pumping them out, but don't put out too much. But if you don't think it's funny, it might be funny to other people. So just put whatever you can and just don't give up.
Yeah, it's kind of like you hear a lot of like famous musicians say the song that blew up was the song they weren't
Least
even going to
expected.
release. They were just like,
Yeah.
what?
So like I made this video on YouTube, this Halloween video with my friend.
Oh, it has 11 million views or something crazy
11
like
million
that.
views. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the least video I've ever thought. I didn't even post it on Instagram or Facebook because I was like, this is not funny for Instagram. Like my fans are not gonna laugh at this. But so I just put it up on YouTube and it blew up 11 million views. I don't know how. I'm guessing it has to do with the Dallas Cowboys because I did a joke about Dallas Cowboys on there.
Oh,
So it was a lot
interesting.
of like the sports fans kind of saw that
Mm.
and was doing that because I'm a Dallas Cowboys fan. So I was kind of ragging on them, but this is our year. Every year is our year, but this year is our year.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah, cuz I did see that one had 11 million, and
Mhm.
that's funny that yeah, you didn't even expect it to.
Didn't expect it, and I wasn't even trying to like, you know, make it universal so that everyone would understand this video. Like I still was doing my same Hawaii style pigeon, accent and all that, and
Yeah.
it still blew up. And um,
And you made it
and
with
it's
a
crazy
friend.
because I wasn't monetized by then. If I was monetized on YouTube,
Oh, cuz you didn't have enough subscribers
I
yet,
didn't
I
have enough
guess.
subscribers back then. Yeah. But then that video kind of like gained me a lot of subscribers. Yeah. So now I'm monetized and I still gotta learn how to use YouTube better. I just post the same video on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. But I gotta make videos like more specific to each platform. I think that's what I gotta work on now because no sense posting the same video on every platform.
Well, yeah, learn from the people that are, Charlie Barons is a
Yeah.
great example of someone who's been able to go across multiple platforms and really
Mhm.
like build up. Desi Banks, another one. So
Yeah.
you,
He's I'm impressed with him because he hasn't been doing stand up for a while either. But
yeah,
he's like he's I think he has over 1 million followers, almost 2 million, I guess. But like everyone knows him, and a lot of big time celebrities are like shouting him out and all that, and that's crazy.
yeah, dude. Yeah, I think when I interviewed him, he had maybe been doing stand up like 2 years at that point. So
Yeah,
he's
and
a
he's headlining already too and
yeah, he's
touring
headlining. He's
like
selling out everywhere
theaters.
he
Yeah,
goes. Like yeah, he's killing it.
yeah.
He's definitely of that social media generation of like he blew up and is now like figuring out stand up. But
But he was on Vine first, right?
yeah,
That's
he
where
was on
he kind of
Vine
had.
first and
Yeah.
then blew up there doing like a similar character to what he's doing now.
Yep.
But what's so funny is like he's actually a very thoughtful, soft-spoken person and
Yeah.
half the comments on his interview on our YouTube is like either he's doing his white voice for the white man or like, oh man, I didn't know he talks like a square, like, or he's doing a fake voice. Like all of his followers think he actually talks like his
Yeah.
character on social media. It's really
Right,
funny to
right.
see it in real time.
He
I
has good strategies. Like if you really watch what he does on Instagram, every video he posts, he goes live right before he posts it.
Yep, and he's like comment,
Um,
post, and tag. He like
yeah, comment,
because
post,
that
tag, and he
engagement.
shows himself commenting to all of them. So,
Yep.
I mean, that makes you want to be like, oh, I want to say something. He's gonna reply to me. I want to say something, you know. So that just builds the whole algorithm. And also, because when you go live on Instagram, that story thing, it stays in the front
Yep.
no matter what. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
go. So you're gonna see that the whole time while you're on your phone. So, oh, he has a new video. I got to check it out. So he's very, very smart the way he advertises himself.
And
Um,
he does it also where he'll make a post that says new vid and it's like a
New vid, yeah,
screenshot
yeah,
of. So these are all things
yep,
we can learn from,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'd have to put my ego aside and be like, all right, I'm going to go live. And then it's like 4 people, 2 of them are my
people, yeah.
parents. And I'm like, go comment, like, and tag everyone, it's like, or whatever. He's like scrolling through thousands of people. I'd be like,
Thousands of people, yeah,
go
yeah,
get it, y'all. But that's part of the hustle. It's part of the grind to build up. But it's cool and it's good to observe what is working for people. Like
yep.
you mentioned Country Wayne earlier.
Country
A
Wayne,
lot of his stuff is serialized. So it's like a character that you're
yeah,
following through a couple like
him too. Like
episodes.
I don't know how he does it. He posts like 5 minute videos every day.
Well, a lot of those people now, I haven't had Country Wayne on yet, but I mean, a lot of them now
Get him
run
on.
like a studio. I mean,
Yeah,
they have like writers and they have like
yep,
a production schedule where it's like on this day we're recording 5 skits and then we're going to release
yeah.
them in this sequence. Like it's a well-oiled machine, but
It is a machine. Just like Andrew Schultz too. He has his own studio
yep.
and everything. He came a long way too. And same thing with social media. I know you had him on here earlier
Yeah,
when you
yeah. We're
first
gonna have to get him
started.
back now that
That was
he's.
a very one of my favorite episodes you did. You know, because
Oh,
he was,
thanks.
yeah, he had some good tips. And because I kind of used his strategy too with like my crowd work. I would post stand-up videos with but just crowd work. So you're saving material, but
Mm-hmm.
you're still getting, your point across. And the local people love it because my shows, they know that I film every show. I have 3 different camera angles, and one of my friends is on a gimbal. So I film all the interactions with the crowd work, and they notice that. So they're very talkative at my shows too, and they want to be part of the show and in the camera when I post it. So
Oh, that's awesome.
like
Yeah,
I would get comments, they're like, oh, where's brought up Bill, like that one interaction. Can you post that one? And I was like, yeah, I got it. I'm going to edit it soon. So
that's some
they
of
would remember what would happen at the shows and they want me to post about it. So
I mean, some of his most popular videos are just the crowd work stuff.
it's all crowd work. Yeah.
So that's that's another way to like fill time as a stand-up is
Oh,
doing
yeah.
crowd work, and the people love it. Like the
I
audience
seen him
loves it.
live at Blue Note and he had like 20 minutes of Hawaii material. And it's like material where you're like, how does this guy know this? He's not even from here. This is like really, really local jokes. You can check it out on his YouTube. He posted the whole 20 minutes of, I think it's like Hawaii got these jokes of him performing in Hawaii and does Hawaii
Wow, to
material,
check that out.
which I, in my opinion, would gain your fan base a lot in Hawaii, and that's what Joe Coy did too. He has a lot of Hawaii material, which is why he's like a god here in Hawaii, because they think
Mhm.
he's one of us, and we're also like, how does he know this? He's not even from here, you know. Even Gabriel too. Gabriel Iglesias has a lot of Hawaii jokes.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's my advice. If you ever come to Hawaii, just have like maybe 10 minutes of Hawaii material. And I can give you some tips of what to say or what the lingo around here.
I
But
feel
if
like
you do
I would
any
look like I'm coming to build a resort or something. That's what I would like.
yeah,
I'm coming into. It's
take
like a
your
good
land,
building to
yeah.
turn into a resort here. I see. Yeah.
That's what I feel like all like the real experienced comics do when they tour is they open up with some local jokes no matter where they're at
Yep.
and win the audience over right off the
Exactly.
beginning.
Yep.
That's I feel like Andrew Schultz does that a lot because I watch a lot of his crowd work stuff and it's a lot of them is about what city he's in too,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's a great tip to use as a road comic.
Well, as we land this plane here, please promote where the Hot Breathverse can follow you or contact you if they heard this episode and are like, "Oh, this was amazing. I want to reach out and ask a question or just show gratitude for coming on the show."
you can follow me on Instagram at Tumua underscore TUMUA underscore. And then I did underscore because someone has Tumua already. I don't know who it is, but
No.
yeah. So it's just the underscore. Or you can go on
No.
my website at tumuacomedy.com. I post everything on social media where I'm gonna be performing at, my videos, my skits. YouTube, you can catch me at Tumua Tuinei, and Facebook Tumua Tuinei as well. So
Well, Tamua, thank you so much for being on here, my friend. It's so cool to connect with you through a DM of you asking me a podcasting question to now you're on the podcast sharing your story and hopefully inspiring other people to start taking their career into their own hands. You've done it. You're just getting started. I don't want to come off as if I'm saying you did it, man. It's all cruise control from here. Like you're still just getting started, but just to be able to recognize how far you've come in such a short amount of time, but also recognize the amount of work that you put in to do it as well. So thank you for the inspiration and thank you for sharing your time with us.
no problem. Thank you, Hot Breathiverse and Hot
Hey,
Brethrens and Sisterins.
yeah, let's go.
Yeah. It's an honor to be here. I was a fan, so I still am a fan. And yeah, let me know if you ever come to Hawaii. We can hook something up, or if I'm ever up near Atlanta
For
or not.
sure.
But yeah,
Absolutely. Well, go forth,
appreciate it.
Hop Breathiverse. Go reach out to Tumua, check out his content, but do reach out to him and let him know you heard him on the show and that you loved what he said. And we'll be back next week with another hot breath.
Yep.
You can do it. Can you do it? You know it?
I remember the other one you did, the hot breath. Do you still do that or no?
Yeah, I do it at the end now.
At the end. Oh yeah, I
I do it
remember
at
in the
the end.
beginning.
I do it
Yeah.
for the people that listen to the outro. I'll end the
You
episodes,
gotta
but
stay after the credits like a Marvel movie.
exactly. I used to do it at the
Yeah.
beginning, and then my wife got in my head and said it was cringy. So now I only do it at
No,
the end.
that's your signature. You gotta keep that.
I should do it. I should bring it back to the beginning.
Good. Bring it back. Like how you brought back the dab.
Hey, I legit thought that was gonna be my social media trip. I was like, I'm just gonna dab on social media and I'm gonna bring it back like Backpack Kid. I'm gonna
Mhm.
be the dab guy. And then I did it
Mm.
for like a week and was like, oh well, it didn't go viral, so never mind.
That's okay. Just keep trying. Just try something else. Yeah.
I don't know though. The dab, I mean, it sticks. People that saw it remember it. So maybe I should.
I remembered it. I mean, I think what you're doing is great because I'm like all the way in Hawaii and I heard about your podcast, so you're reaching people and like the comedy community here, we know about your podcast too, so we talk about it and we use it for tips and all that too. So keep doing what you're doing. I mean, this is huge. I mean, I'm a really big fan of the podcast and it's an honor to be on here. So thank
Wow.
you again.
Wow. Thank you, man. It's cool to see the tips in action. It's like you learned and applied, and now you're on the show. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And this is just the beginning, my friend. We'll definitely be doing some shows together for sure.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. All right, Hot Breathiverse. We'll see y'all next week. Bye.